up, everybody? I'm Jordan Robinson, and we are here for another WNBA stream. I hope you guys have been enjoying these because they have been so much fun to talk to you guys about everything that's going on in the WNBA, the players and rivals, all the things. So today we are going to talk about future faces of the league. Now, I love this topic because it sparks a little bit of debate, but also it makes us think about who are the faces of the league now, who have been the faces of the league from the beginning of the WNBA. I think of my girl Cheryl Swoops, Rebecca Lobo, Cynthia Cooper. Like those players were in everything. They were in the commercials about the WNBA. They were in Nike ads, like everything about them. It was the WNBA. When you knew their name, it was the league. I wrote a book called Court Queens, and it details the history of women's basketball. And I think about this topic and I think about what would Court Queens Volume 2, Volume 3, 15, 20 years from now, when we look back on this time of the WNBA, what are the names that are going to jump out at us? And there's a couple on this list. We're going to go through 7 of them. But we have to start with the 2 biggest names in the WNBA women's basketball right now, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Let's start with Caitlin. It's a no-brainer that she is one of the faces of the league. It is a name that you definitely have to know because of her electric play. It is so fun to watch Caitlin Clark shoot the ball, and you don't know what she is going to do next, where the shot is going to be from. She is really good at hoops and really good for the Indiana Fever. For one, I do miss watching Caitlin play basketball. It was a bummer that she was hurt for most of last year, especially after her incredible rookie season, winning Rookie of the Year, them being able to go to the playoffs. And I know that the Fever have a deep run in them. I mean, Caitlin barely played. They were on like their 17th player from injuries, and they still made a deep run in the playoffs. So the future is bright for the Fever and for Caitlin Clark. Like we know this. She's already debuted her Caitlin Clark logo. She has a signature shoe coming. I am really excited to see her healthy and playing basketball again at the start of next season. It can't come soon enough. And what she has been able to do, not only for the game of women's basketball, for the Fever, for Indiana, for the W, it's really exciting. And it goes all the way back from Iowa because the girl has been lighting it up since she was in college. And it's really fun to see. I love this graphic with all those signature shoes and everything like that because that goes into Angel Reese as well. So I would say Angel is number 2 on this list, or this isn't ranked or anything, but she's the next person up because of her impact on and off the court. Angel has the most followers from anyone on Instagram. Her brand deals are incredible, but her game has already elevated since college. And I love that she has carved out a lane for herself with rebounding, with double doubles, with me bounds, all of those things that she is kind of making a name for herself, but also putting herself in the history books for what she has been able to do for record-breaking rebounds. I can't wait to see, again, excited to see her come back, see how she becomes a better passer. We talked about on the last stream how her team they need to build around her. We know the Chicago Sky have some issues, but I love this. Single season record holder, consecutive double doubles record holder. I think 15 straight games with a double double. She is etching herself in those history books and is somebody that we are going to be talking about for a really long time. Again, for the basketball side, but also for how she has been able to carve her lane off of the court. Hair, nails, fashion. She's at the Met Gala. She has her shoe out. She has a line. She's Juicy Couture. She's walking Victoria's Secret. Like, this is setting a new precedent for what women's basketball players can do. And I would say Caitlin is in that same boat of there's countless commercials, and I know her brand is going to be plastered everywhere this year as that gets rolled out. But these two players, for sure, future faces of women's basketball, pretty much the faces now. So as we keep going through this list, I think it gets on the future side a little bit more. Paige Bueckers is new to the WNBA. She won Rookie of the Year. And Paige, coming into the WNBA, I think coming off of a national championship, coming off of everything that she has been able to do at UConn, it was awesome to see the fanfare and see everyone follow her. Similar with Caitlin and Angel. For so long, if you guys know or have been a women's basketball fan for a really long time, it was hard to bridge that gap between college and the W. For some reason, you would think that the superstar in college, or if they played at Connecticut, they went to UConn, they could be playing for the Connecticut Sun, and it still wasn't a connection. Now, in these recent years, it has been seamless. And I love that for us as women's basketball fans. Seamless between college, then the W, and now Paige is in Unrivaled. That fandom has been able to be fed with women's basketball content and their stars all year round. And that, I want you all to know, that has not always been the case. And Paige Bueckers is making that case where we have watched her really on our TVs for almost a full calendar year, going back from college, the deep run in March Madness, to the national championship, to the WNBA draft, to a WNBA season where she set a rookie record with 44 points in a game, became the Wings franchise rookie scoring leader. And I think all-star, all of these things. Then she's coming into Unrivaled and she's doing the exact same thing. Paige Bueckers, to me, is going to be a future face of the W because she is not afraid to pull a vet, anybody on an island, and cook them. Like, she is such a great one-on-one player and a pure scorer that I think the 44 points is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, she said this about Dom Malonga, who we're going to talk about later, who's her teammate on Unrivaled, but she said this is the worst that Dom will ever be because she's going to keep getting better. That's how I feel about Paige. This is the worst that she's going to be. She is going to keep climbing the ladder. She is going to be so much better than what she is now, and now is pretty dang good. So I see single game scoring records in her future. I see mid-range scoring records, if that's even possible, because she's bringing the mid-range back. But I love Paige Bueckers' game. And if you guys know me and are a fan and have listened to my podcast, The Women's Hoop Show, my mom is the #1 Paige Bueckers fan. She has a Dallas shirt. She went to their games in the Valkyries because they live in Sacramento. She is a super Paige Bueckers fan. So according to my mom, Paige is definitely already the face of the league. But I love Paige and I love her game. Okay, let's pause right there. Let's go to the chat before we get to the rest of this list. So Angel is way too high. This is not ranked. We're not ranking this. Angel Reese is an incredible basketball player, and we will not take any Angel Reese slander on this stream. Sabrina is better than CC. We're also not going to take any Caitlin Clark slander on this stream. Sabrina is a phenomenal player, and we're going to talk about her a little bit when we get to our next player on this list. But Sabrina is one of those players who I feel like, you know, was such a, what's the right word? Like finishing your college career during COVID and 2020, I feel like we got robbed of a potentially deep run of Sabrina's Oregon team. But what Sabrina was able to do at Oregon, building the attendance better than the men's basketball, she put women's basketball, Oregon's women's basketball on the map again. And it also transitioned seamlessly into the W. But she had a tough rookie year. She got injured pretty much right away. Liberty stunk. They were terrible for a really long time until she was able to add people to bring to add forces with her. And I think it's just a different path. Everybody is taking a different path to these. And I think it's a little bit on the lines of Paige. Like Paige is like, okay, Sabrina, you needed some superstars to kind of come to your team to elevate my team as a whole. You can't do it by yourself. And I think Sabrina is a testament to that. But what she's been able to do with her brand, her shoe, Sabrina is a great example of a face of the league and how to really carve out your name for yourself. People don't want to see Paige stats. Don't lie. Okay, I think what you mean by this is that people are look, Paige is a fan favorite for many of reasons. And I think that is because of her personality, of her how she carries herself. She has a type of swagger to herself that I think is also what lends her to be a future face of this league. I think she has the right amount of cockiness, but also being humble. She plays that dance very, very well, which is super great. Okay, let's continue with the rest of this list. So the next player on this list is AZ Fudd. Now we're getting future. All right. AZ still in college, still at UConn. But what I love about AZ and her game and how she could be a future face of the WNBA along the lines of Sabrina, along the lines of Caitlin, what those players have told us is that people love to watch a great shooter shoot. She's also really carving herself out on the defensive end as well, which is super important. She wants to be that two-way player, that 3-and-D player. We love great shooters. Great shooters always have a place in the WNBA. They always have a place in basketball. Stephen Curry, yeah, we can watch Steph shoot all the time. If it comes up on my feed and it's Steph shooting from the opposite end of the court, I'm going to watch. If he's shooting from behind the basket, I'm going to watch because he is a great shooter and we love to watch good shooters work and watch them in action. AZ has that potential when she gets to the WNBA to be amongst some of the greatest shooters that have been in the league. And that's what makes you one of those faces in the league. Also, on the other hand, AZ has carved out herself as a businesswoman with brands, brand alignment, all of those things that also make her a super face. She's the people's princess. She has the following, the fanfare. I think all of that goes into making the recipe for the face of the WNBA. I think of like a future 3-point competition at All-Star featuring AZ. You know, yes, somebody has to dethrone Sabrina eventually, but I think of an Allie Quigley who, you know, carved out her name in the WNBA as one of the best shooters at knockdown. You can't leave her open. The scouting report is blazing, highlighted neon lights that she's a shooter. It doesn't matter. That helps people get WNBA championships. And I think AZ can be in that conversation for sure. Going to the chat real quick. If AZ can stay healthy, yeah, of course. I think that goes with anyone on this list. Caitlin Clark, we want her healthy next year. If she can stay healthy, if Angel can stay healthy, she's had some issues with her wrist, her hand, Paige Bueckers, her knee. Yes, if everybody can stay healthy, that goes without saying that they are on this list. And I'm thinking of them in their best possible version of themselves. Yes. Okay. Moving on to the next person on this list who is already in the WNBA, who also needs to stay healthy, who we want to stay healthy, who we haven't been able to see a full season of, Cameron Brink. Cameron Brink at Unrivaled right now it's getting me so excited to see her in the WNBA because, again, we have not seen a full season. She got off to an incredible start her rookie year with block shots, with being able to score in the paint, using her length. A lot of people, including me, I covered her while she was at Stanford for the Pac-12 network. I know that she is a shot blocker. I know that. That is from her volleyball background. But I was like, okay, the foul trouble, how is that going to translate? Is she going to be able to block the shots of these elite scorers? Yes, the answer is yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, she ended her rookie season with an injury. She was able to come back pretty much midway through or on the back half of last season. The Sparks season with her, the full season, I think would have been a different story. But I think when we talk about face of the league, defense and being a defensive player of the year is a huge reason why some of the faces of the leagues now have all won DPOYs at one point, you know? I think we are going to talk about Cameron Brink and defensive player of the year in the same sentence in a few seasons. Like, I don't think that we are too far removed from a Cam DPOY campaign. And we need a full season to do that. But what she was able to do just for those first 11 games during her rookie season still was on pace to set records in block shots and defense. So I get so excited when I think about Cameron Brink and the future that she is and how she is ingrained to the future of the WNBA. Like I said, I talked to her while she was at Stanford. I've interviewed her, covered her for years. And I think that she just knows her lane and how she can carve out a lane for herself. Just like we talked about Angel with rebounding, Caitlin Clark with long distance shooting, Paige with the mid range. There's few players and people, the legends of the game, that can carve out multiple lanes. But if you can carve out a single lane and excel in that, I consider that being one of the faces of the league. And I think Cameron Brink is definitely in that. Now, again, off the court, she is killing it. If she wanted to be, whenever she's done with basketball, she's going to be a full-time model. And the brand deals know that. And she has made herself a brand. She is in the perfect location of LA. Shout out to the Sparks. And I think all of that is working towards it. I think that we are going to see more of Cameron Brink in commercials. She's had a podcast, so many things. So I think that is one of her goals, to be one of the faces in the league. And if Unrivaled is telling us anything, is that yes, that is absolutely right. And the basketball part is there as well. Unrivaled, I would say the whole Breeze team with Rakia, Paige, Dom, Kate Martin, so many future of the WNBA stars on that one team. It gets me so excited. That's why I'm a Breeze fan this Unrivaled season, because it just gets me amped to think about the future of the W. All right. Going to the chat. You made your case for Cam. As a Sparks fan, I'll be watching. That's right. I love Cam. Absolutely. Dominique Malonga has to have the same hunger as Wemby. Speaking of Dom Malonga, she's next on this list because I agree. Dom, here's the thing about Dom, and I hope our producer is keeping track how many streams I have talked about Dom Malonga. I think almost every single one, because I love this kid. I think the potential is through the roof. Again, repeating what Paige Bueckers said about her teammate, that this is the worst that Dom is going to be. And this is pretty dang good. Look, the last time a 19-year-old, was drafted super, super high in the draft, well, a most memorable time was also to the Seattle Storm, and it was Lauren Jackson. Lauren Jackson came from Australia. She was cooking people in the Olympics, and then she came to the WNBA, and everyone was like, what? Who is this? She is still the only international player to have an MVP award, multiple MVPs at that, 3-time MVPs. This is who Dom reminds me of. Not necessarily in their game, but just the potential of just coming in and being so young. She's coming from France and being green, being able to learn and pick things up super quickly. I think her athleticism, her sheer knack for where the ball is, I mean, it just gets me so hype. What she has been able to do for the Storm and also in Unrivaled, I think everybody, including myself, is waiting for her to throw it down, maybe on somebody. Rakia is on her team, so I know Rakia was saying, please, Lord, don't let me be the first WNBA player to get dunked on. But I'm kind of rooting for somebody. I want Paige to throw the alley-oop and Dom to throw it down because she deserves how viral that would go and for people to get excited about her playing style. Yeah, future face of the league, especially in this category of international young players coming over to the league and making a name for themselves. The sky is the limit for Dominique Malanga. Okay? Yes, I agree. All right. Last but not least, and a player that I could talk about for hours and days on end, somebody who will for sure be a future face of the WNBA, Juju Watkins. Absolutely. Juju is, I can't even describe it. Must watch TV, worth the price of admission. Some of the best fundamentals and overall scoring skill set that I have ever watched. Watching her score 50 points, it was just like a shooting clinic. Watching her score 40, 30, 20, it don't matter. If it's a bucket, she's gonna get it, okay? My heart shattered, broke into a million pieces when she went down with an ACL injury last March, ending an incredible college season for her, being named, the player of the year. She's going to be back. She's going to be healthy. She's going to be better. But what she has potential to do as a college player, as a WNBA player, I'm still somehow campaigning for her to get to the Sparks. I don't know how that's going to happen, but the city of LA loves this kid. Absolutely loves her. She is a superstar. I'm talking about, I went to USC games. You could pick any seat in the gym and you would have a clear view to the court. Juju came and it sold out. It is a high ticket. You want to see Juju Watkins play basketball. She just got her high school jersey retired at Sierra Canyon, also here in LA. She's from the city. So I always think about, or I always tell this story when I think about Juju and the future of the league is my dad, right? Everything with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and even the WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, comparing the two to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, whatever that is. But my dad, he goes, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, yeah, but Michael Jordan is coming. And he was referencing Juju Watkins. That's the type of superstardom that I think Juju is going to take over. I tweeted this years ago, that they might even change the rule of when a player could come into the WNBA because they did not want to wait on Juju Watkins to get there. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's in the fine print of the CBA. I don't know. But I can't wait for her to be on the WNBA stage. But more importantly, just the immediate future. I want her to be healthy and finish USC strong and make a deep run in the tournament. Their season, I mean, you can clearly see how much she is missed without Juju be playing in USC this season. But her and Jazzy Davidson, when they get a chance to play together in a USC jersey, that is also going to be must-watch basketball, and it's going to be so fun. The iconic bun, it's already known around women's hoops, but it will be one of the faces, future faces of the WNBA and Juju. Okay, this is my list, you guys. It's a great list. There's so many players. There's so much room for superstardom in women's basketball right now, which I think is important and necessary. We need the names to grab onto as, like I say, a gateway drug into getting into the league. And then you can see there are countless other really great basketball players in this league, but there are faces of the league that get people in, that draw people into the game. And all of these players on this list have that aura, have that element about them. So before I wrap up, let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's Maya Moore-esque how good Juju is at basketball. Talk about a face of the league. During the whole decade of the 2010s, Maya Moore was winning championships, winning MVPs, was one of the best players to ever step foot on a basketball court. We did not get to see her for as long as I think she could have played because she decided to retire. But yes, it is the 3-level scorer that Maya Moore was and how she could get anywhere on the court. Juju has that for sure. Absolutely. All right. I love this. I think that this was a really great list. I hope you guys were chatting in the chat because there was a lot to chat about. I, for one, am super excited about the future, but also about the history because I wrote my book, Court Queens, available for pre-order. Where am I pointing? Here. There you go. And it talks about all of the faces of the ABL, the WBL, the leagues that were even before the WNBA, and who were the superstars of those. So many names. And I can't wait for, future versions of this book to list all of those players and all their accomplishments. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks so much for hanging out. Again, I'm Jordan Robinson, and see you later.